Now, some people complain, both men and women, about, you know, they're, in their 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, approaching middle age, and they're not married. They don't have a romantic partner. They're not close to getting married. Oh. And they don't really have the right psychology for a single person. I mean, there's always been nuns and monks and people close to being nuns and monks in the secular world, but, most people do want a romantic partner. Okay? Now, anybody who knows Denise knows I'm no prude. But part of the problem is hookup culture. Having sex immediately can short circuit the business of getting to know each other. Okay? And you've got to get to know each other, find out, is this person have, what it takes? Do they have similar interests? Let's like one thing people found kind of odd about the triangle with Prince Charles, Princess Diana, and Camilla was that, Princess Diana was so much prettier than Camilla, and yet Camilla was the other woman. But Camilla and Prince Charles had more interests in common. And if you go right into a hookup, you don't find other than, you don't find your interests. You don't find if you have, common goals and, common values and that type of thing, which, if you're going to marry somebody, you want to know those things. So it might be a good idea to bring back a dating or courtship system or a kind of conscious in a kind of conscious manner that is directed specifically toward marriage. To talk about things like, what do you like to do? What are your pastimes? Do you want to have children? If so, how many? Religious beliefs or lack of them, political beliefs, you want to live in a city, you want to live in a suburb, you want, this sort of thing. So you might want to consider, this sort of conscious dating, courtship, whatever you want to call it, in order to find a mate. Also, another thing is we might have kind of romanticized marriage out of existence. There's another possibility. In the West, we have the idea that people have to be in love in order to get married. If you might just have to be compatible or be able to get along. Maybe you don't have to be in love. Maybe, something less than that is okay. If you're comfortable with the other person and you can make a go of it, maybe being in love isn't necessary or isn't always necessary, especially if you're kind of desperate, especially if you really want to marry. But anyway, those are some of the things I would suggest. One of the things, and it might be that you need to have a relationship that doesn't include sex immediately and that is more oriented toward a conscious appraisal of whether or not the person is a potential husband or wife. And then, anyway, those are some of my thoughts about that. And also, you might want to consider, am I suited to being a single person for the rest of my life? Because, some people aren't going to marry.